Everyone's talking about Claude Mythos, but I think they're missing the part that actually matters. Here, let me explain. So you may have heard that Mythos found zero-day vulnerabilities across every major operating system and web browser. But I think it's important to put that in perspective. So think of it this way. The entire cybersecurity industry typically tracks around 75 to 100 zero days per year. Mythos was able to find thousands of zero days in just a few weeks, which is, crazy in itself, but what really matters is where they found them. These names probably don't mean anything to you. I know I'd never heard of them before I researched this topic, but they're important to a lot of the applications that we use every day. Take OpenBSD, for instance, which was literally built for security, so much in fact that it was the foundation of macOS's packet filter firewall. Mythos found a bug that was just sitting out there for 27 years. Then there's these two. Both had vulnerabilities that went undetected for over 15 years. This is a big deal because, yeah, again, you never heard of them, but FreeBSD is what Netflix runs on. And FFmpeg powers video and applications like YouTube. So this isn't just finding bugs and something that you'd expect. This code is arguably what the internet is built on. And not only was it finding bugs, Mythos was able to chain multiple vulnerabilities into coordinated attacks, layering them one after the other to make an attack plan. And 83% of the time, those attacks worked on the first try. But don't worry, it got worse because Mythos also showed that it could break out of its secure sandbox, basically breaking its constraints and then covering its tracks after the fact by deleting logs, cleaning up after itself. I mean, it even made its own decisions, which is insane. The AI can do this, but not stop using M-. Anyway, so obviously, at this point, Anthropic had no choice but to lock it down, and they launched Project Glasswing, which is a controlled program that gives restricted access to major tech companies like Microsoft and Google and security companies like Fortinet, with the hope of identifying and fixing critical software vulnerabilities before attackers can exploit them. So, good on Anthropic for seeing it as a real problem and doing something like locking it down. At least, intending to lock it down. Turns out, as I was writing this, might not have been as locked down as originally advertised, but still early, so I'm gonna reserve judgment until later. But the $64,000 question is, what do we do about it? Honestly, nobody knows how the next few months are gonna play out, but there are some things I think that will help regardless. For customers and for organizations, the first is virtual patching via IPS. This blocks exploits from even getting in through the front door. This has been a standard in OT security for a while now, where in OT environments, there are systems that are old, still running Windows XP, and they can't easily be updated. So IPS basically builds a virtual shield to protect these systems from known vulnerabilities. But then there's SOAR, which uses AI to spot threats, piece together what's happening, and since it's AI, it can act faster than any security team can realistically act. All of that's just the beginning. I mean, it's going to take a lot more than that. I mean, speed and visibility are going to matter now more than ever. And that applies to us in our everyday lives too. But above all else, don't panic. Because I know this sounds scary, it sounds intense, but I promise I'm not trying to freak you out. I mean, to be honest, it's a good chance that this is just Anthropic marketing their capabilities to draw up funding, which already seems to be working. But whatever ends up being, it's still worth paying attention to because this has the possibility to change how we approach cybersecurity going forward. But that's just my opinion, and as always, you stay safe out there, fellow Internet Explorer.